in the mall, you know, at the Louis Vuitton store, and you bought the Louis Vuitton duffel bag, and then you had to give him the Louis Vuitton box that you bought to give to you as if he bought it for you, and you forgot that you put the receipt online showing that you bought a duffel bag, a Louis Vuitton duffel bag, and it's like, did she just give him the gift to give to her to act like the things that we're telling her that he ain't got no money?
The internet didn't just react, it detonated the moment Tasha K hit the live button. Within seconds, timelines froze, group chats exploded, and one shocking question began echoing across social media. Did she just expose what's really happening between Claressa Shields and Papoose? Because according to Tasha's newest claims, the story fans thought they understood might actually be the opposite of the truth. And the moment she started talking, the drama went from quiet whispers to full-blown internet chaos. Tasha leaned toward the camera with that look. Viewers know all too well the look that usually means receipts are coming. The comment section flooded instantly. Thousands of viewers piled in as she began laying out a timeline that sounded less like gossip and more like a secret script. Nobody was supposed to see. Then she dropped the detail that made everyone stop scrolling. A Louis Vuitton duffel bag, a receipt posted online, and an allegation that what looked like a romantic luxury gift might have actually been something staged behind the scenes. According to the bag may have been purchased by Claressa herself, only to later appear publicly as if Papoose had bought it for her. The implication sent shockwaves through viewers. If that story was true, it meant one of the most talked about moments between them might have been part of a carefully controlled image. But that wasn't even the part that truly stunned the internet, because moments later, Tasha hinted that the real drama wasn't about the bag, the gift, or the social media photos everyone had been analyzing. It was about a private relationship situation that allegedly involved tensions no one outside their inner circle was supposed to know about. And when another familiar name entered the conversation, Remy Ma, the internet immediately realized something much bigger might be unfolding behind the scenes. By the time the live stream ended, clips were already going viral. Fans were dissecting every sentence, and insiders were allegedly warning that if even one of the rumored recordings ever leaks publicly, the entire situation could explode into the biggest celebrity scandal of the year. Because if the whisper—
I want you to meet, his name's Papoose. You said his name is what? Pap what? Pap Smith? What you bringing in my house named Pap Smith for? Who is this? James, who is this? She got a nigga up in the house named Pap Smith. Is you a woman? What he doing? You already know. I don't want nothing. He ain't. Well, you ain't met him. I don't need to meet him. I can smell that he ain't shit. That's how I am, y'all. That's really how I am. I see something that you can't see. Can't never win no number. I win by the $100. But I know the nigga when I see one, I can smell it. He don't mean no good.
Because if the whispers are true, the public story we've been watching might only be the surface, and the real drama is just starting to crack open. The moment the live stream ended, the internet turned into a digital crime scene. Every second of Tasha K's broadcast started getting clipped, slowed down, reposted, and analyzed like evidence in a courtroom. What had started as a messy rumor about Claressa Shields and Papoose suddenly felt like something far bigger, something layered with secrets, strategy, and the kind of tension that doesn't explode overnight within minutes. Fans began resurfacing the exact moment that first triggered suspicion: the Louis Vuitton duffel bag. At the time, the clip seemed sweet. Papoose, presenting Claressa with the expensive bag while cameras rolled, smiles flashing, captions about appreciation and loyalty. Fans flooded the comments calling it couple goals. But after Tasha's claims, the entire moment took on a completely different tone. Screenshots of the receipt that had once been quietly posted online resurfaced again. People zoomed into the date, the store location, and the amount. According to the claim, Claressa herself had purchased the bag earlier that day at a Louis Vuitton store before it somehow reappeared as a gift from Papoose. The internet immediately split into two camps. One side insisted it proved nothing. Couples buy gifts for each other all the time. Maybe she just wanted the bag and the story got twisted later. But the other side wasn't convinced. They argued that if the story was exactly how Tasha described it, it raised an uncomfortable question. Why stage a luxury moment like that in the first place? And that's when the whispers about money began circulating again. According to messages Tasha claimed came from someone close to the situation, financial stress had allegedly been simmering quietly behind the scenes for months. Publicly, everything looked glamorous: designer bags, luxury dinners, social media posts, showing smiles and celebration. But privately, insiders supposedly said the pressure to maintain that image had started becoming overwhelming. One alleged message described a moment where Claressa noticed inconsistencies in conversations about money. Small things at first, bills mentioned casually, comments about expenses that didn't match the lifestyle being presented online. At first, she reportedly brushed it off. After all, people exaggerate sometimes. Public life often looks different from private reality. But according to the source, one specific conversation planted a seed of doubt that refused to disappear. It happened during what was supposed to be a relaxed night with friends. Music playing softly, everyone joking around, the kind of moment where nobody expects drama. Then someone made an offhand remark about how everything looks expensive until the receipts show up. The room reportedly went quiet. The source claimed Claressa laughed it off in the moment, but later that night she started asking questions. Questions about purchases, about gifts, about who was paying for what. At first the answers were vague, casual explanations, nothing that sounded alarming on the surface, but the more she asked, the stranger the responses allegedly became. That's when the alleged voice message appeared. Tasha claims she received an audio clip where a woman believed to be Claressa sounded exhausted, speaking to a friend late at night. The voice in the recording allegedly said something chilling. "I'm starting to feel like I walked into something I don't fully understand." The message didn't mention names directly, but the implication was enough to send fans into detective mode, because around the same time, those alleged doubts began surfacing. Another name kept quietly reappearing in conversations surrounding the drama. Remy Ma. Publicly, Remy Ma and Papoose had long been viewed as one of hip-hop's most loyal couples. Their story had survived prison sentences, career struggles, and years of public scrutiny. For many fans, their relationship symbolized endurance and loyalty. In an industry known for chaos, which is why even the hint of tension involving Claressa instantly turned the situation explosive. According to one insider message Tasha read during her broadcast, the real friction allegedly started when Claressa began realizing that her rising fame was attracting attention from people with complicated loyalties. Some conversations reportedly suggested she was being encouraged to maintain certain public narratives because they benefited more than just her image. In other words, her success might have been helping hold together a much bigger story. One alleged message claimed that Claressa started noticing how often her achievements were used in conversations about stability and security for others around her. At first, it felt like normal support, friends celebrating her victories, but eventually the pattern started feeling different, like her career had become a shield, protecting someone else's problems. The emotional toll reportedly built slowly. Interviews where she once sounded fearless suddenly felt more guarded. Fans began noticing that she posted less frequently online. When she did appear publicly, her energy seemed different, still strong, but more cautious. Speculation exploded across social media. Some people defended her fiercely, arguing that internet gossip had no right to dissect someone's private life. Others believed the alleged leaks were too detailed to completely ignore. The debate grew louder by the hour. Then another claim dropped that pushed the drama into an entirely new level. According to Tasha, one insider described a private gathering where tensions finally boiled over. What began as a quiet conversation reportedly turned into an emotional confrontation. Voices raised, accusations flying. At one point, someone allegedly shouted that the truth had been hidden for too long, and that's when the name Remy Ma was brought into the conversation again. The room reportedly went silent because if the insider's story was accurate, it suggested that the relationship dynamics between Claressa, Papoose, and Remy were far more complicated than anyone outside their circle understood. The source claimed Claressa looked stunned when certain details were mentioned, details involving loyalty, finances, and decisions that had been made without her fully knowing the context. At first, she reportedly refused to believe it, but then someone pulled out a phone. According to the message sent to Tasha, that phone contained texts that allegedly changed everything. Messages discussing money, messages referencing appearances, messages that seemed to hint at a carefully managed public narrative. No screenshots have surfaced publicly yet, but the mere suggestion that those texts exist was enough to ignite another wildfire online. Fans began revisiting every interaction between Claressa and Papoose they could find. Old interviews, Instagram lives, red carpet appearances, every smile now looked suspicious to someone watching closely. But the most haunting Part of the insider story came at the very end of the alleged confrontation. The source claimed that after several minutes of heated argument, Claressa stopped speaking completely. She sat quietly, staring at the floor while everyone else in the room kept talking. Then she reportedly said one sentence that made everyone freeze. "If this is true, I've been standing in the wrong fight." And according to the insider who sent the message to Tasha, what happened immediately after that sentence might be the moment that finally pushed this entire situation past the point of no return. The silence that followed that sentence reportedly felt heavier than anything that had been said before it. According to the insider who claimed to witness the moment, everyone in the room suddenly realized that the situation had crossed a line. What had started as rumors and uneasy questions had now become something personal, something emotional, something that could no longer be brushed off as internet chatter. And at the center of it all sat Claressa Shields, a woman known for dominating opponents in the ring, now staring down a completely different kind of fight, the source told Tasha K that Claressa's voice wasn't angry when she spoke again. It was calm. The kind of calm that only appears when someone has already begun putting pieces together in their head. She allegedly started asking very specific questions. Questions about money. Questions about who knew what. Questions about why certain conversations had happened. Without her, the insider claimed, the mood in the room instantly shifted from confrontation to panic. People who had been arguing moments earlier suddenly avoided eye contact. Someone reportedly tried to change the subject. Another person allegedly insisted that things were being misunderstood, but Claressa didn't move. She just kept asking questions. One message Tasha read from the source described a moment where someone finally admitted that parts of the public image surrounding the relationship had been managed, not necessarily fake, but carefully presented in ways that benefited everyone involved, except allegedly. Claressa didn't know the full strategy, and that revelation reportedly hit harder than any rumor, because trust, once cracked, spreads fast. According to the insider's account, the conversation spiraled quickly after that. Accusations began flying again. Voices rose. One person allegedly accused another of using Claressa's rising fame as protection from financial pressure building behind the scenes. Another voice reportedly fired back, insisting everyone had agreed to maintain a certain image, but Claressa allegedly pushed back immediately. The source claimed she said she had never agreed to any performance. She thought everything was real. The argument intensified at one point. The insider claimed someone shouted that if the truth ever leaked publicly, it would destroy multiple reputations overnight. The room reportedly fell silent again when one name came up during that warning: Remy Ma. According to the alleged account, mentioning Remy Ma changed the entire tone of the conversation. The room shifted from anger to something closer to fear, because if the claims circulating online were even partly accurate, it meant the relationships connecting Claressa, Remy, and Papoose were more tangled than the public ever imagined, the insider claimed. Claressa looked shocked when certain details were hinted at, details involving overlapping loyalty, long-standing tension, and conversations that had apparently been happening behind her back. At first, she reportedly refused to believe it. Then someone allegedly mentioned text messages, not rumors, actual messages. The source told Tasha that the mere mention of those texts sent the entire room into chaos. One person demanded phones be put away. Another reportedly warned that nobody should repeat what had just been said. But according to the insider, the damage was already done. Claressa had heard enough. The message claimed she stood up slowly and walked out of the room without saying another word. No yelling, no dramatic exit, just silence. And that silence, the insider said, was more terrifying than any argument, because once someone stops arguing, it usually means they've already made a decision. The alleged aftermath of that confrontation is where the story becomes even more mysterious. According to the messages Tasha claimed to receive, Claressa's behavior changed noticeably after that night. Friends supposedly noticed she became more guarded about who she spoke to and what she shared. Conversations that once happened freely suddenly became private or avoided altogether. Fans began noticing subtle changes to her social media activity slowed down. Interviews became shorter. Moments where she once seemed playful online now carried a different energy, focused but distant. The internet started picking up on it almost immediately. Clips comparing her older posts to her newer appearances went viral. Comment sections filled with theories about what might have happened behind closed doors. Some fans insisted she was simply protecting her peace from gossip. Others believed the change meant she had discovered something painful. Meanwhile, the podcast episode from Tasha kept spreading across platforms. Each repost brought new viewers, and with them came new speculation. Some people accused Tasha of exaggerating the situation for attention, but others argued the level of detail in the insider messages made the story hard to completely dismiss. And then another claim, quietly, appeared according to one additional message Tasha said she received after the live stream ended. Someone close to the situation warned that the confrontation described earlier might not have been the last one. The source allegedly said another conversation happened days later, a much more emotional one. This time there was no anger, only disappointment. The insider claimed Claressa asked one final question during that second meeting. Why didn't anyone just tell me the truth? The message said nobody answered. Eventually, someone allegedly responded that the truth would have complicated too many lives. That response reportedly broke whatever hope remained. The insider described Claressa sitting quietly again, staring at the floor the same way she had during the first confrontation, but this time the emotion was different. Not shock, not anger, just the quiet realization that things might never go back to how they were before. When Tasha finished reading that message during her broadcast, the livestream chat reportedly exploded with reactions. Thousands of viewers were typing at once, some expressing sympathy for Claressa, others questioning whether the insider stories could really be trusted. But the chaos didn't stop there, because as the clips continued spreading online, fan pages began noticing something even stranger. Neither Claressa, Papoose, nor Remy Ma immediately responded to the claims. The silence from all three sides only fueled the speculation further. People began analyzing every post, every caption, every like on social media, looking for clues about what might be happening privately. And while nobody involved has confirmed any of the claims publicly, one thing became undeniable. The story had already taken on a life of its own. What started as a podcast discussion had turned into a massive internet debate about trust, loyalty, and the hidden pressure of living under constant public attention. Fans are still arguing over what they believe. Some say the rumors are exaggerated gossip, others believe the insider leaks hint at a deeper truth waiting to surface. But the most unsettling part of the entire situation might be the possibility that more recordings, messages, or receipts could appear at any moment. Because if even one of those alleged texts or audio clips ever leaks publicly, the stories surrounding Claressa Shields, Papoose, and Remy Ma could shift again overnight. And according to the same insider who first contacted Tasha, there is one final detail that hasn't been revealed yet. A detail they claim would explain why the tension between everyone involved became impossible to hide. If that detail ever comes out, the narrative people think they understand right now could collapse completely. You've seen the leaks. You've heard the alleged messages. You've watched the social media chaos unfold. And yet, this story is far from over. Every clip, every screenshot, every whispered insider claim is like a ticking time bomb, and the next one could drop at any moment. If you thought you knew the truth about Claressa Shields, Boxer, and Papoose,